What's up everyone, John from ARTV. It's time for a review of the 12th album by nu metal and rock band Korn, The Serenity of Suffering, the follow-up to 2013's The Paradigm Shift, which was their most refreshing and rewarding album in probably at least almost a decade, probably since See You on the Other Side. I didn't care much for their untitled effort, and especially for the Path of Totality with all of those collaborations with dubstep artists. It just seemed like they were going in a really weird direction because of Jonathan Davis, the lead singer of this band, and they finally got things straightened out once their guitarist Brian Head Welsh rejoined the band with The Paradigm Shift. And obviously with them promising their heaviest record in probably a decade since something like Take a Look in the Mirror or even stuff like Issues on The Serenity of Suffering, I got excited, and rightfully so. This album does deliver their heaviest music since that time. Is it all fantastic? Does it feel a bit forced? Yeah, in places it does, but that's not always the case, and in fact, a lot of this album is quite enjoyable, and if you're a fan of Korn, I'm pleased to say that you will definitely enjoy this project. Now, what does it offer in terms of lyrical content, musicianship, that sort of thing? Well, it does still feel pretty modern in some regards. I mean, there's a little bit of programming in between some of the transitions. Obviously, Rotting in Vain has that one part where it's like an electronic whoosh before it gets back into those roaring guitars, but it is kept to a minimum. I like that they used it for a transition to that track with Corey Taylor of Slipknot, but really, like I said, it's a background detail, something that you don't really pick up on, and in fact, I think they use it in such a good way that it's something that adds to the album instead of the tracks, like something on The Path of Totality. And I feel like on The Paradigm Shift even, they got it right, the mixture and the chemistry in the band, using guitars and electronics. And here they made a conscious effort to shift entirely away from the electronics, and I embrace that. I like that they're trying out their roots once again, and obviously the album cover is an ode to their own album cover, Issues, that came out in 1999. Not saying that this album sounds like that by any means. There sure are some elements from that, but overall, I do feel this to be a kind of rehash, recycle, but still have new ideas type project from Korn. I mean, they're definitely not doing anything groundbreaking here, but there are some entertaining moments. Now, what are the best songs here? What stood out the most to me? I feel like the single was a really good choice. Rotting in Vain was released as the lead-off track here. It's got a great build. There's a lot of energy in that track, and you can definitely feel the hate, especially in that crazy breakdown. It just reminds me of something like Freak on a Leash with the almost like beatbox, yelling, screaming, whatever it is from Jonathan Davis. These are some of his most manic vocal performances and just some of the most entertaining stuff I've seen from him behind the mic in probably about a decade. Something like See You on the Other Side. And obviously there's some other tracks that stand out to me as well. Next in Line has some of that sampling, the turntables, I like that, and just the breakdown on that one, in addition to Die Yet Another Night. That's one that I felt like was pretty intense vocally, and obviously the There Is Nothing in My Head part from the track Everything Falls Apart. There's some intense moments here, but they also know when to use that restraint. There's some slower ones as well. I like the chorus on Take Me. That's one that was released as the second single here, and it's a little bit more mellow, but still gets its point across. Even the hating does a good job at building a brooding atmosphere, and that's something that I will give this album credit for. These songs do feel pretty connected. It feels like an album, and they do it in a pretty concise way. It clocks in at just over 40 minutes long, and that's the perfect runtime. Honestly, whenever Korn outstay their welcome, it's because they made an album generally that's way too long and did not have enough entertaining content to fill that hour or 45 minutes or whatever it may have been. Here, they get the job done in 40 minutes. Not every single song sticks as they want it to, but it's not enough tracks to make you feel just really tired and just like, I can't listen to this for a while after you finish playing it. The Serenity of Suffering is a grower, not necessarily a shower. For some people it might be, but I've found that I get a little bit more into this as I give it repeated listens. I start to pay attention to some of the lyrical content of it. It's a little bit angrier than what we've seen in recent times, and it doesn't feel as forced, I should say. He takes it from everything from politics to just hatred of maybe a certain person or a certain type of person that is opposing or just oppressing other people, so I can definitely see how the flame has been relit, and it feels like this kind of is the start of a new era for Korn once again, and that started with The Paradigm Shift. There's a few songs that don't really do much for me. Insane kind of aggravates me, to be quite honest, with its chorus chorus. I don't really like Davis's vocals there. They do get a little bit wild and scattered, and it doesn't work out. It doesn't mesh well with the instrumental, the guitars, the drum pattern on this track. It just all feels a little bit too chaotic, and they never really reel it in. And even the song A Different World with Corey Taylor, it just doesn't seem like it quite fits Corey's screams and just how he comes across. It's like he's treating it like a Slipknot tune, and not saying that the band don't have kindred spirits. It's just that here their spirits kind of clash, and I don't feel like they played off of each other's energies in the right way. It's not a song that I totally dismiss or don't even care for, but I will say that it's one of my least favorites. Take Me is a little bit stale in places, and Everything Falls Apart takes its sweet time in getting to the good stuff. Like I said, I love the breakdown on this one and just how he's repeating over again. There is nothing in my head. There was nothing in my head, as the instrumental just grows louder and louder. Those shrieking guitars, they sound excellent here. I love that part of the track, but it just takes a while to get there and for it to get quite interesting. And honestly, there's so many other songs on here that I would rather listen to than some of these moments that drag their feet. My favorite song on the entire project is probably When You're Not There. It's song number 9 right near the end of this thing, and honestly right after that, Next in Line and Please Come For Me, it goes out on a big winning streak here. But When You're Not There really stands out to me in the sense that it kicks off with this awesome drum pattern. I love how furious that is. The bass actually stands out more to me on this track. I feel like with nu metal and rock, sometimes the bass gets lost in the mix. Here they actually kind of bring it to the forefront in places, and that mixed with the guitar and the vocals on this track, just how intense everything is, you've got a winner on your hands. Next in Line, obviously I'm enjoying the fact that they've got some sampling going on there, the DJ, everything like that. I like that they're adding some scratches, and we see that on Insane as well. I did like that touch there, even though I don't really enjoy that tune all that much. And then on Please Come For Me, an excellent closer where they really just start to seethe with rage, and instead of going out on a slow note, they don't do that at all. They throw it back in our face once again, and we go out on just such a high octane. I love that, and I do enjoy that about this album. Now, like I said, I don't enjoy every single moment here. There's ones that I don't care for as much as others. I feel like some tunes don't stand out that much. There's aspects of them that I might enjoy. The Serenity of Suffering doesn't do anything new, but it does add a few things to the formula and changes it up enough to make it an interesting listen. For me personally, I will give it a recommendation. I hope you guys will check it out. I'm going with a 3.5 out of 5. Let me know your thoughts on this new Korn album in the comments section down below, and don't forget to drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel while you're here, because friends don't let friends go unsubscribed. If there are other videos that you'd like to see me tackle in review form, maybe a top 10, whatever it may be, then definitely let me know in the comments. And of course, if you'd like to see another Korn review or a recent review that I did on this channel, you can check those annotations directly below me. Thanks so much for watching today. Other than that, I will see you guys very soon right here on ARTV.